Shalom, family. This is Elder Jenkins with the King James Bible University. And I want to speak on a topic. He that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. Family, we know that the Most High knows all and He sees all. He knows what is the mind of the Spirit. He know what we're thinking. He know our thoughts, our actions, and our deeds. It's not so much of the outer appearance that we show out to the masses of the people, but He searcheth the heart. He know what's on the inside. And people have been conditioned to show you what they want you to see on the outside. But the Most High knows what's on the inside. I'm even reminded of the scripture here in Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. And it says, the eyes of the Lord, the Spirit of God, are in every place, beholding, meaning remembering the evil and the good. So He that searcheth the hearts of all mankind, knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. So family, hoping and pray something is said to encourage you along this journey that we're on. Because our Creator, the only wise, true, and living God, the Creator of the heaven and earth, He knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. So it behooves us to be about our Father's business and take an inventory on our own lives as we continue traveling through this journey. So I want to make an announcement that we are not affiliated with any Christian church group or any camp group or organization here at the King James Bible University. We're not affiliated with any of those other outside groups. We stand alone in the work that we do, spreading this truth out to the world, to the nations. These truth teachings are coming straight out the scripture. We're using the 1611 King James Bible with the Apocrypha, the whole complete book. And we are following His instructions, precept upon precept, line upon line, and here a little and there a little. So once again, this is Elder Jenkins with the King James Bible University. And we're going to go ahead and get started with this teaching. He that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start at the book of Romans, chapter 8. And we'll start at verse 22 down to 31. And the word reads, he says, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. Let's look at this first fruits. We know this first fruits is speaking of the first works. But he say, even us also who have the first fruits of the Spirit, meaning the first works of the Spirit. We see that here. Let's get back. So he says, and now only they, not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits, meaning the first works of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. So let's look at the adoption. It says, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption. So even we ourselves, we're groaning. Waiting for the adoption. We're waiting for who right it is. Waiting for the inheritance. This covenant agreement that was made, this redemption. Waiting for who right it is, this inheritance. It says, to wit, the redemption of our body. Let's look at redemption. To wit, even the redemption of our body. No, the redemption is to be redeemed, meaning salvation, the election of our body, to be rescued, the healing, the remedy. So to be redeemed, meaning the election of salvation. That's what's going on. So even ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting for the inheritance, who right it is, to wit, the redemption, the election of our body. It says, for we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for? So we are saved by hope. So let's look at this. We are saved by hope. So in other words, we're delivered. Because saved means deliverance, healing, restored, we're freed, we're rescued, preserved, protected. Salvation, we're spared, healed, and sheltered. So when he say we are saved by hope, meaning we are delivered. Let's take a look at hope. We are delivered by hope, by this is expectation, this desire that we have. This is the desired expectation. So he's letting us know we are saved, we are delivered by this desired expectation. He said, but hope or expectation or a desire that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for it? Why do he yet desire for it? If he already see it, why do he have this expectation? It says, but if we hope for what that we see not, we have a desire for what we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. He says, likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. So he's letting us know, likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, things that we're dealing with. And let's look at this one. I don't have this one in here, but let's take a look at it. Infirmities, our weaknesses, diseases, afflictions, sickness, our weaknesses. Because a lot of time we don't know what we ought to pray for or how we ought to pray. But he said, likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our weaknesses. Things that we're weak in, the things that we need more strength in, we need more power in, more structure. The Spirit helpeth us. For we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But however, the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Let's look at intercessions. So now we know the Spirit is helping us when we're our infirmities, our weaknesses. He make it intercession. So the Spirit is being a mediator. The Spirit is praying petitions for us and pleading for us, making supplication for us. The Spirit is doing this. Jehovah is at work. You see that? So likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our weaknesses, for we know it not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit itself maketh these petitions of prayer, being a mediator, making supplications for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Isn't that something? The Most High is always at work on the behalf of his saints, his followers, ones that's following his way. He says, and he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. He already know it, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God. See, the Spirit is always at work. Matter of fact, I'm going to pivot for a moment, something not in the teaching, but I'll come back, because we see this information here in Sirach chapter 24. See how the Spirit is always at work. And I'm going to read from verse 1 down to 12. He says, wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people. In the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power. I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. I dwelt in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. I alone compassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep, in the waves of the sea, and in all the earth. And in every people and nation I got a possession. With all these I sought rest, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel. He created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail. In the holy tabernacle I serve before him, and so was I established in Zion. Likewise, in the beloved city, the beloved people, he gave me rest. And Jerusalem was my power. And I took root in an honorable people, even in a portion of the Lord's inheritance. And we see right here in verse 9, he said, he created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail. It's letting us know he's never going to fail. Let's look in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. He's telling us in verse 6, for wisdom is a loving spirit and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart. He's going to remember everything that's going on in his heart. He that searcheth the hearts know what is the mind of the Spirit. That's what he's telling us. And a hearer of his tongue. For the Spirit of the Creator filleth the world, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice. Therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. He's letting us know. He says, for he will be found of them that tempt them not, in verse 2, down to 5. And showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. So in other words, the ones that not showing this fake love. Oh, I love God. I love God. A bunch of lip service. But deep down in their heart, they don't love him. They don't trust him. He said, and he showed himself unto such as do not distrust him. For forward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee the seat and remove from thoughts that are without understanding. and will not abide when unrighteousness coming in. He's going to leave you to dry. You'll be on your own when unrighteousness coming in. So he's telling us, going back to Romans chapter 8, he says in verse 27, and he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he make it intercession. He make it these prayers of petition, these supplications for the saints. He's doing this for the saints. He's not doing this for the wicked. He's not doing this for the ungodly. He's not doing this for the ones that have forward thoughts. He's not doing this for the ones that have these wicked ideas and imaginations. He's doing this for the saints. Let's look at saints. He's not doing it for the ain'ts. He's doing it for the saints. It's a big difference. It's a big difference between the ain'ts and the saints. See, the saints is the holy ones, the faithful ones, the ones of promise. The ain'ts is the hypocrites, ones that's they making a whole lot of noise and they doing a whole lot of talking, but it ain't nothing coming out of their mouth worth that have no substance to it. They just doing a whole lot of talking, 4 hours worth of talking and contradicting and being double-tongued, like we see this group over there, they call themselves the elders of Israel. Not only them, all around this world, you have these ministries and these congregations and these church buildings, these camp organizations that spewing hate and on the street corners and saying all of these things to the people that pass by. And they got a false 12 tribe chart telling people what location they live in, what tribe they are. Then the buildings taking up tithe for money and treating the pastor like a god. And being a hypocrite, there ain't a hypocrite. They contradicts, they lies, they deceiver, a serpent, profane, a heathen, and godless. See, this is what an ain't is, a hypocrite. But he's not doing this for the ain'ts. He's not doing this for the hypocrites. He said that he's doing this for the saints. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints, for the holy ones, these promised ones, these ones that's faithful. You don't have to say that you're faithful. He already knows if you're faithful or not. You don't have to speak on it. He already searched the hearts and know what is the mind of the Spirit. You don't have to tell what you do daily. You don't have to tell, I do this and I do that. He already knows what's in your heart and what's in your mind. You don't have to portray this outside appearance like you so holy and you so righteous. He already know what is the heart and the mind. What is the mind of the Spirit? He searches the hearts. All you got to do is start your day and go about your day. Make sure you receiving your Oma daily, as Elder Lynn always speaks on. Study your word. meditate on the word, live the word, be the word each and every day, each and every hour, each and every minute, and each and every second. The word is your foundation. The word is your compass. The word is your protection. The word is your guide. The word is everything to you. Once you step outside of that, he already showed us and told us right here in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5 and verse 3. He says, for forward thoughts separate from God, and his power when it is tried, reprove it the unwise. He says, in verse 5, for the Holy Spirit of discipline, the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness coming in. So we have to have the word as the center of everything that we do. We don't have to have a name tag saying I'm a follower of Christ, I'm a Jew. No. We don't have to dress a certain way to portray to the people that we are following Christ. We got to live, breathe, and eat the word each and every day. That's all it is to it. If we do that, he will protect us. He will fight for us. He will deliver us. Because he searcheth the hearts and knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. You already know these things. Let's keep going. He says, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God. See, it worked together for the good of them that love God. Not just saying it with our mouth, but we put an action to it that we love him. Anybody can say I love you, but are your actions lining up with the words that's coming out your mouth? See, if you love God, you made a promise to him. You made a vow to him. You trust him with all your heart, your mind, and your soul, and your strength. Do you love God? See, a lover of God is a promise keeper, not a promise breaker, but a promise keeper. I love God. He's saying and we know that all things work together for the good of them that trust God. They promised God and made a vow to him, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Now, see, this here is very, very important information. Because the ones that trust God, that really trust him and made a vow, he said to them that are the called. Let's look at called. To them who are the called. Right here. To them who are the appointed. They're named. They're appointed to do a work. And so it's so easy to to see the manifestation of that, because the ones that are the called, they're not going to be slothful. They're not going to be sitting on the sideline eating grapes. They're going to be eager to put in some work. For the ones that regularly sits here at the King James Bible University and House of the Lost Sheep of Israel, and the ones that have access to SharePoint, I want you to really, 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 really realize and understand the opportunities that you have been presented with. Because in the background, we have some sisters that's putting in some major work, loading you up with information, breaking down all of these teachings that goes out to the masses of people. They breaking the teachings down, giving you all of the notes, even my Psalms class, all of the additional verses that's given during the live class, editing and adding all of those verses and just breaking down, making bullet points of all of these teachings that goes out for every teacher. It's so much valuable information back there. And whenever I occasionally check in and look through the information, I'm just in awe. I'm in awe because I'm like, wow. All of this work that's being done. Even the work that the moderators do. It's a beautiful thing. People that's eager and ready to help in any way they can. Even when we get together throughout the year, Passover and first fruits, all of the work that goes towards putting this together. A lot of time, the ones that just come to enjoy don't realize all of the legwork was done, all of the calls and communication that was done way ahead of time before the event even takes place. But the ones that's eager and ready to put in work, not being slothful, Johnny on the spot, ready to go. The need is the call. But he's telling us the called is the name, the appointed. Let's get back to the text. So, and we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, that promise God, that trust God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Look at all of these brothers been teaching the last few months. You have a 1 o'clock service, a 3 o'clock service, a 7:30 p.m. service. Have 9 a.m. First day of the week service with Deacon Ed. We have the Psalms class. We have all of the children's class. We have all of these works being done, but it's according to his purpose. It have nothing to do with us. This work is according to his purpose. He say, to them who are the called, the named, the appointed, we are appointed for this task to do the work that we're doing according to his purpose. Now let's look at his purpose. Because it's all about him. It's all about Jehovah. It's not about us. Has nothing to do with us. It's according to his purpose. Very important that we make sure that we stay on point. We don't get sidetracked. We don't allow that flesh to rear up in us to be thinking it's about us. No, it ain't got nothing to do with us. It's according to his purpose, meaning what? According to his divine plan, according to his will, his election, the prophecy that was already penned in scripture. It's according to his divine plan that we are named, that we are appointed to do this work that we're doing. And like I said, you can see the manifestation because the ones that's always willing, eager, ready to go, do whatever they can do to help, you see the works. You see it. They don't have to say, hey, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm doing that. You already see it. But it's according to his purpose, meaning his divine plan. He says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestine it to be conformed to the image of his son, meaning his servant, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. And this is why you see these individuals always willing to put in work. Let's look at this. He said, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestine it. He also did predestine it. Right here. He foreordained. This thing was already set up before we was even born. We just didn't know it. He foreknew. He elect. He chosen these to do this work. We had Israelite to be this truth bearer, to make sure his truth is going forth. His destiny. Whom he foreknew, he also did predestine it. So he also did elect. He elect. He chosen these. That's what he's telling us. To be conformed to the image of his son, his servant. Be conforming this image. One second. Right here, his image. This resemblance. This manifestation. Putting in work. Having the mind of Christ. This statue. Form, appearance. The image of his son. Having the mind of Christ. That he might be the firstborn among many brethren. This is what he's telling us. Whom he foreknow, he also predestined. Very important information. Very, very, very important information. We have to have this image of his son. The mind of Christ. Very important that we see what's being said here. He says, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. So, moreover, whom he did foreknew or foreordained, the ones that he elect and chosen, them he also called, meaning he also appointed them and named them. And who he called, meaning who he appointed and named, them he also justified. This is one that he justified. Let's look at this. So the one that who he called, meaning that he named, he justified, meaning to be righteous. He redeemed them. He sanctified them. He cleansed them. He vindicated them for this work. To do this work. He didn't justify them to be slothful. He didn't cleanse them and vindicate them and redeem them to sit on the sidelines and eat grapes. No, he did this for his purpose, his divine will, to put in some work. Whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, he also glorified. Let's look at glorified. This is what he did. See how everything coming together. He glorified them. Right here. To them who he also justified, he glorified, he honored, he exalted, bright, noble, honorable, he celebrated. In other words, they have this light, this truth. He gave it to them for a reason. And I'll even show the reasons right here in the book of Luke, chapter 21. In verse 15, he said, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. I'm going to give this to you. He's going to glorify you. He's going to honor you. You'll be honored. I'm going to give you a mouth and wisdom. Why? Because he justified you, meaning what? He sanctified you. He cleansed you. He redeemed you. He made you righteous to have the image of his son, the image of his servant, meaning Christ. But for what? He tells us right here in the law book, Leviticus. Chapter 25 and verse 55. He says, for unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I brought them out of confusion. I brought them out of bondage. I gave them my wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I gave them the light. I gave them the truth to do a work. I justified them. I glorified them. I called them. They was predestined. I foreknew them and foreordained them. I elect them. I chose them to do a work. I am the Spirit of God, your God, meaning your guide. This is what he's telling us. This is what he's telling us. I called you. I appointed you to do this work. I appointed you for the task at hand according to my purpose, according to my divine will. It's not about you. This is not about your personal thoughts. Oh, well, I think y'all should do it like this. I think you should do it like that. No. It's according to his will, according to his divine plan. You got so many opinions, get on the battlefield. Romans chapter 15 and verse 6. This wasn't in a teaching. But he appointed us to do this work that ye may with one mind and one mouth glorify God, even the Father, our Creator, salvation anointed one, meaning salvation of Jehovah. He says, wherefore receive ye one another as Christ also received us to the glory of God. So we see this. This work has to go out. It has to get done. He already foreknew and predestined and called and justified and glorified his saints, the ones who he chose and elect to do this work. Is already written, is already done. It's no time to be sitting on the sideline. It's something can be done. It's phone calls could be made for the seniors. Little cards can be made with all of the information of all of the channels. And as you in the grocery store, as you going about your day, you can have a few words with the individual and give them a card. Say, hey, come check out these truth teachings at the King James Bible University. It can help show somebody the light, the truth. There's so much work to be done. It's no time to be a slothful servant, because he that searches the hearts know what is the mind of the Spirit. Are you willing to help aid your brothers and sisters? Are you willing to help aid showing anyone that wants to learn about our God? They willing to put down their God and learn about the Most High God of Israel, the God that created the heaven and the earth. And this goes for anyone that wants to learn. Doesn't matter who they are. If they want to learn, they're welcome to learn. But you're going to have to put down your God in order to learn about our God. You cannot come with your own imaginations, with your own doctrine, trying to mix and blend, because that's not going to work. But he's telling us, moreover whom he did predestinate, them he also called, he appointed. And whom he called, them he also justified. They was redeemed, sanctified, cleansed, vindicated for this work. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. He honored and exalted them. So what shall we then say to these? What shall we say? These things. If God be for us, who can be against us? Who? If God be for us, who can be against us? This is the question. I don't care what name you throw out. It don't even matter. Because if God be for us, who can be against us? Exactly the point. Let's keep going. And just to tie in on, the information we see here in verse 30, even in verse 29, when it says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, meaning his servant, Christ, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also glorified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. So let's look at something. Sirach, chapter 33. And verse 10 down to 15. He says, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge of the Creator have he divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low, and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. So he's clearly letting us know it's two groups of people amongst us. You have good and evil. You have the godly and you have the sinner. He's telling us. So, what category are you in? He's telling us. This is something to meditate on each and every day. Good is set against evil, life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. He give us this book of remembrance to be our guide, to lead us in a pathway of righteousness, to follow his path, to take on the image of his son, his servant, Christ, Jehovah, the anointed one. Are we willing to follow his way or our own way? Are we willing to seek life, which is his truth, where the light is? Or are we willing to seek death, which is living according to the flesh, trusting in the flesh, trusting in our own vain imaginations? This is the question. We realize that we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory, and that we was born into sin and shaped in iniquity. But when this truth came to you, did you accept it? Did this rebirth process happen for you, being born again, resurrected by the word of God? Or did you choose to stay in that grave? Or did you choose to rise up out of that grave and those valley of dry bones and allow that word to redeem you and resurrect you to truth? These are all things that we should be meditating on, because he tells us this information here in Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 4 down to 10. He says, "Then the word of the Spirit of God came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee." He said, before I formed thee, before you came out being a baby, you crying and all of these things out of your mother's womb, he said, I knew thee. Knew. I understood thee. I discerned thee. I acknowledged thee. I was acquainted with thee. I comprehended thee. Knew thee. He says, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. In other words, he justified thee. He's to all of these workers out in the vineyard. He said, and I ordained thee a prophet, meaning a mouthpiece of God unto the nations. That's why I made the statement earlier. You can already see the manifestation of the ones that's really putting in the work. The ones that's called and willing to put in the work. You already see it. They don't even have to speak on it because Their deeds and actions is already speaking for themselves. He says, then said I, oh Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Spirit of God said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee. And whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, said the Spirit of God. So you're going to have people out there with all kind of different understandings. Every couple of words they see in scripture, to them it means doctrine. This means doctrine and that means doctrine. They're going to be charging money for a tithe and going to be spewing out hate messages, and they're going to be doing all kind of things. They're going to be saying it's okay for a man to have 3 and 4 wives, but the women can't do it, but the man can do it. That's foolishness. The women can't have 3 or 4 husbands, but it's okay for the man to have 3 or 4 wives. You see how foolish that is? They're going to have all kind of understandings out there. They're going to have Sunday worship services, believing in 3 gods and all types of things. You imagine it is there. But he said, be not afraid of their faces. Don't be afraid of their understandings and the things that they trying to push out. Some of them, they can't do nothing try to have no kind of a teaching without elevator music playing in the background. He said, for I am with thee to deliver thee, said the Spirit of God. Then the Spirit of God put forth his hand, his power, and touched my mouth. And the Spirit of God said unto me, behold, remember, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to do a work, not to be in your flesh, not to be about what you want to do. But he says, see, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out and to pull down and to destroy and throw down all false doctrines, falsities. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to put in some work. You got to get up early when everyone else is sleeping. You got to stay up late when everyone's going to bed. It's things that you can't even partake in because why? I called thee, I appointed thee, I justified thee, I sanctified, I cleansed, I vindicated thee. I predestined thee, I elect thee, I chose thee to do a work. I named thee to do a work. You can't do what everyone else is doing. You can't be where everyone is at, because I elect you for my divine will, for my purpose. And I knew thee before you came out of the womb. Thou art mine. And I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down and to destroy and throw down, to build and to plant. So we see this task is tearing down false doctrines and building up and planting the seed of truth in the hearts and the mind of the people. Sometimes you're doing both at the same time, and at other times you focusing on just one. So to give an example, for the last couple of months, you've been seeing our deacons putting in some work. And they've been doing just this, rooting out and pulling down and destroying and throwing down. This mainly was the focus of the assignment. And here shortly, you'll see they start focusing on just the building and the planting. But both tasks have to be done. Sometimes they're done all in one setting, and other times they're done separately in other settings, but it's a dual work that have to be done. You already see the requirements, you see the prerequisite, you see everything that is contained here. It's not just planning. It's not just throwing down. But it's all. It's rooting out, it's pulling down, destroying, and throwing down, and also building and planting. It's all of it. So this is why you hear the teachers over here at the King James Bible University speak the way they do. Some of you may have an issue with the way some of the teachers may speak, as far as, oh, they kind of too stern, whatever, however you may feel, but you don't realize the work that have to be done. You looking at it with your own little single mind, your world, your personal worldview. Man, I think you sound a little too harsh. Man, maybe you should come at them another way. Who are you? You don't understand this assignment that was given. You don't understand this work that have to be done to root out and to pull down and to destroy and to throw down and to build and to plant. So however the Spirit is moving and leading and guiding us, we have to always follow the Spirit of God. But as you see these teachings continue to go forward, when you see the different dynamics of the teachings that's going forward, you already been warned. You understand the task that is at hand. See, it's a lot of building and a lot of planning that goes on every Sunday morning, the first day of the week service, Bible therapy. If you had not had a chance to tune in, I welcome you to tune in with Deacon Ed. The link is always right there. That morning, that Sabbath morning, Elder Johnson always make that announcement. But it's on Sunday mornings, even after the, I believe after that prayer, the link is always in the comment section. But tune in with Deacon Ed, Bible therapy. A lot of building and a lot of planning is going on there. But all of these teachers, these brothers and deacons and elders, they put in work behind the scenes preparing these teachings. And this is something that we must do. It don't matter what's going on in our personal lives. This must take place. Let's keep going. Let's get some more information. It don't matter how someone feels. They have a job to do. Sirach, chapter 49 and verse 7. A lot of these going to be talked about and people have their personal opinions about us, but it don't make no never mind, because he tell us right here in Sirach 49 and verse 7. For they entreated him evil. They even said Yahushua was the prince of Beelzebub. They called him names. Ain't no different. He said, for they entreated him evil, who nevertheless was a prophet, a mouthpiece of God, sanctified in his mother's womb. We just seen it in Jeremiah, that he might root out and afflict and destroy, and that he might build up also and plant. We see that. So this is the job, the task at hand. And we're not doing it using our own mindset. And no, we'll be a fool to start reading scripture and, oh, that means doctrine. This means doctrine. Or we asking somebody to, anybody got some precepts for this word and not checking it. No. We have to follow the instructions of the Most High God of Israel. The instructions that's already contained within the book is what we have to follow. We cannot use our own imagination, our own vain thoughts, because he give us the instructions right in the book. So why not use the instructions? You know how many times people make a purchase and they throw the instructions away, then they trying to put something together, and when they get finished putting together, you still got 10 pieces to the side because they didn't follow the instructions. And they worrying why the thing won't work right. It won't function right because you didn't follow the instructions. Let's get here. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9 down to 11. He says, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. These are the ones. You got to be weaned from those carnal understandings, worldly understandings. He said, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here little and there little. It must be this way. For precept must be. He's giving us a command. He said, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. He's going to speak a different language to these, a spiritual language. That's what he's going to do. And he's telling us exactly how he's going to do it. Right here in Deuteronomy. Chapter 32 and verse 1 down to 4. He said, give ear as I speak, give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak. And hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain. My speech shall distill as the dew. As the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. Because I will publish the name, meaning the way of the Spirit of God. Ascribe ye greatness unto our God. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment. A God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. So with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. So he's telling us, give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak. Hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. He's telling us how his doctrine is going to drop. He said, because I will publish the name in the way of the Spirit of God. This is what I'm going to do. And just to add in some more information, we'll get a couple of verses here from Psalms 78. Right here, and I hit verse 1 and 2. He said, give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. That's what I want you to do. He said, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers told us. This is what I'm going to do. He said, we will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Spirit of God and his strength and his wonderful works that he have done. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children, that the generations to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope, their expectation, and their desire in God. and not forget the works of God, but however keep his commandments. This is what you must do. Now let's show the flip side of this, because I made the statement earlier. You got two categories of people, good and evil, godly and sinners, ones that seeking life and ones that seeking death. So this is the flip side over in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 15 and 16. He said, the ancient and honorable, he is the head. And the prophet, meaning the mouthpiece that's working for the ancient and honorable, that teacheth lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Just think of all of the people that's being destroyed today for following leaders that's teaching them lies, teaching them a doctrine that will not profit them anything in the end. When they get to the end and realize that they was lied to, it'd be too late. And that truth came to them. They rejected the truth. They didn't want to receive it because they was holding on to the lie, holding on to that leader that teacheth the lies, holding on to the ancient and honorable and his workers, his messengers. We see their characteristics over here in 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13 down to 15. He said, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, meaning a messenger of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers, those preachers out there, also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. See, it all goes back to that, their works, meaning their deeds. Because you don't have to go by what they're saying that out of their mouth. All you got to do is look at their works. What kind of works do they have? What kind of deeds do they have? Because their works is going to show. And I'm looking for works by itself, but it's the deeds that they're doing. Are they receiving money? Are they taking up offerings? Are they getting pastor salaries for the works that they're doing? Yeah, here it is. This show you how this word is moving. Their deeds, meaning their works. Their labor, what kind of labor? Their practice. What kind of practice they have. Their operation, their behavior. How their operation is set up. I've not heard stories of some churches got ATM machines on the inside of the sanctuary. Some churches, they take up your W-2s so they can see exactly what you make, so to make sure you giving the right amount of tithe. Some churches, according on what amount of tithe you pay, determines where you sit at. I've heard all kind of stories. So it's not about their message their style, they hooping and hollering, or they delivery. Oh, they preach so good, and oh, they just make me feel so good. He said, no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into the angel of light. Therefore, it's no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end, when it's all said and done, whose end shall be according to their works. And I'm even reminded of a song I used to sing back in the day, even in the church. They say, may the works I've done speak for me. And that's a true statement, because the works that you do and have done is going to speak for you in that day. In the end, the works that you have done is going to do the talking. It don't matter what you say you did and how you prop it up and make it sound. No, the works that you did is going to speak for you. So that is a true statement. Whose end shall be according to their works. This is how it's going to go down. Someone is listening here today, excuse me, even in a leadership role, in a minister capacity, I behoove you to come out of that. Sit down and learn what the truth is. Be taught what the truth is before it's too late. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3 down to 12. He says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshiped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So the temple of God is your body, and you sitting in the temple of God, showing yourself that you are God. Opposing and exalting himself above all that is called God. Isn't that something? The same God that made them, they choose to oppose themselves and exalt themselves above all that is called God. He said, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now let it will let until he be taken out of the way. See, you got to allow this thing to happen because you have a choice. You don't let someone else choose your destiny. You have a choice. The choice is up to you. Do you choose to stay in delusion, or do you choose to come out of her and be separate? You have a choice. And even if it's a minister listening here today, you can't use that as an excuse, because I was a minister in those buildings and I had a choice, and I had to come out as an ordained minister. I had to come out and separate myself from that building. So you can't say, oh, well, it's hard for me now because where I'm at. No, it's not. You got a choice to make. You can come up out of her. It's never too late. Once that truth hits you, you got a choice. Do you want to be liberated, freed, and delivered? You got a choice. Are you worried about, oh, he did this for me and my pastor did that for me, I can't lead them? Well, you trusting flesh. You got a choice to make. He says, for the mystery of iniquity do it already work. Only he who now let it will let. So if you let whatever that person have influence over you, you let the ancient and honorable and his prophets that teach it lies have influence over you. Only he who now let it will let until he be taken out of the way. Same thing goes for the ones who's following them. Same thing for you. Only he who now let will let until he be taken out of the way. You have a choice. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit. This word is coming to you fresh off the press. You have a choice today. You can come up out of her today. You can be reborn today. You can be filled with this knowledge so you can make a choice today. The choice is up to you. Only he who now let it will let until he be taken out of the way. He says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth. They didn't receive the promise, the trust of the truth, that they might be saved, that they might be delivered. They chose not to trust the truth that was delivered unto them. Even this truth teaching today, someone is going to listen and, nah, I don't want none of that. They choose not to receive this truth. And for those that's in that category, he's saying, for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. See, this is a choice that was made. They chose to reject the truth for whatever reason. I don't like their delivery. He's talking too strong. He don't hoop and holler. Oh, I'm used to the elevator music in the background. They're not playing no elevator music over there. I need elevator music. Whatever your excuse is, for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion. I need a nice praise and worship service. They don't do no singing over there. They don't even play no gospel music over there. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion. Songs being played every day of the week. The songs of the Lord, the songs of the Lord, the songs of the Lord. Being played every day of the week over here at King James Bible University. And you talking about you need some praise and worship music in order to follow God. Foolishness. That they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Let's keep going. Psalms. Matter of fact, while I'm on that, about that music, let's look at something real briefly here. See where I'm at. And let's go here to Amos chapter 5. And I'm going to start right here at verse 21 for those that feel that way. And we'll come down to verse 23. I only can serve him unless I got some praise and worship music. He said, I despise your feast days, meaning your learning days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He said, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. He said, take thou away from me the noise of thy songs. I don't want to hear thy songs because you were singing a bunch of lies. You're singing unto another God because you're not singing about me. Take away from me the noise of thy songs. I'm going up yonder. I don't want to hear it. He said, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows. Because if you had eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to understand, you will realize what the song of the Lord is. It's these truth teachings. Matter of fact, let's look at something. Let's look at something. None of this is any teaching. I'm just moving according to the Spirit. Let's look at something. Because I had this one person I know really, really well. I was meditating on it yesterday as I was working. And a while back, he told me out of his mouth. He said, son, preaching don't really get to me. Messages don't get to me, but someone that sing a song gets to me. Somebody sing a song, it started making me tear up, but the message don't really get to me. And I was like, wow. So the word don't get to you, but someone singing a song do. The song is a confession, a acknowledgement. The songs of the Lord goes forth every day at the King James Bible University. These truth teachings are confessions and an acknowledgement of the Most High God of Israel, his warning message to the people. This is what's being played. But some people don't like the real songs of the Lord. He told me the message don't have an effect on him. But to hear someone singing a song, a woman singing a song does. He said, take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy vows. I won't hear it. He said, but let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. I'm not going to hear the melody of thy vows. This is what he's telling us. Let's get back to the teaching in Psalms chapter 14. Verse 1 down to 3. He says, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. The Spirit of God looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Psalms 58, verse 1 down to 11. He said, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. See, we showed you earlier in Searcheth, it's two categories of people. He said the good is set against the evil. Life and death. It's the godly against the sinner. He said the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, working for the ancient and honorable. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers. Charming never so wisely. See that man that say he is touched by someone that sing a song more than by the word, he don't realize he was being charmed. He was being charmed by that person singing that song. He says, break their teeth, O God, in their mouth, break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Spirit of God. Let's look at something. Let's look at something here. See if I can put this in here. Teeth. Rage. Despair, sense, destruction, suffering affliction, devouring, anger, hostility, decay, neglect. It's teeth. So he's telling us, break their teeth, O God, in their mouth, break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Spirit of God. Let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bended his bow to shoot his arrows, to speak his vain imaginations, his falsities, and his doctrines. Let them be as cut in pieces, as a snail which melted. Let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, his desire in the lifestyle of the wicked, so that a man shall say, verily there is a reward for the righteous. Verily he is a God that judgeth the earth. It's a true statement. Psalms chapter 14 and verse 4 down to 7. He says, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread, and cannot and call not upon the Spirit of God? There were they in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Spirit of God is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When the Spirit of God bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Isaiah chapter 12, verse 4 down to 6. He say, and in that day shall ye say, praise the Spirit of God. Call upon his name, meaning call upon his way. Declare his doings among the people. Make mention that his name, his way is exalted. Sing unto the Spirit of God, for he have done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Cry out and shout, thou inhabitant of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee. Verse 1 down to 3. And in that day thou shalt say, O Spirit of God, I will praise thee. Though thou was angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. Behold, God Yahweh is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For the Spirit of God, Jehovah, is my strength and my song. He also is become my salvation. Therefore, with joy shall ye draw water out of the wells of salvation. So he that searcheth the hearts know what is the mind of the Spirit. Family, I hope and pray something was said to help you along your journey as we're passing through this wilderness. Make sure that we're on the right side of the plumb line. It's good set against evil, life against death, the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. He that searcheth the hearts know what is the mind of the Spirit. So I ask you to prepare your hearts and your minds for the teaching that's getting ready to go forth over at the Lost Sheep of the House of Israel with Elder Johnson. And let's continue on this journey on the King's Highway. Don't get off of the King's Highway. Stay on this King's Highway all the way until the end. So I want to wish everyone a happy Sabbath and a shalom to everyone. Until we meet again, peace and blessings unto you. Shalom.